What's up? What's up? Polo Sports Talk and Entertainment. Here again with another one. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not a member, and also hit the notifications so that you're able to get all of my content and all of my videos. I got some breaking news. Oh boy. I got some fucking breaking news. According to Adrian Wojnarowski, all right, the Nets have no intention of dealing James Harden by the trade deadline. Uh, you know, this news is not surprising uh, because Brooklyn still wants to win. But Harden a few days ago had came out and said that he was wanted to test the free agent market. Now, what does that tell you? Listen, 9 times out of 10, I can almost guarantee you that a lot of teams, a lot of teams aren't. They're just not like up for grabs for a guy like uh, James Harden, man. I'm just being honestly. I'm just being honest with you. He has informed management and ownership that he's committed to staying and winning with the Nets, and uh, you know, look, the fact is that nobody was gonna be that. I don't care what nobody thinks. Okay, I don't care what nobody thinks. Let me ask you something, Jacob. What's up with it, Big Who? Let me ask you something. Would you want? Well, I already know Big Who wants James Harden in LA, which would be very very stupid because he's not on the level of a Kawhi. And I'm gonna be honest with you, he's not on the level of a Paul George. Paul George made absolutely no excuses. You want him there. You want him. Yeah, you would want a mediocre player. Okay, I got your answer, Jacob. Would you want him in Dallas? I mean, pretty much you're getting a black Luca. You already have a white James Harden. Would you want him in Dallas? Let's be honest. Now, we were talking about Dallas this morning. Jacob, teams are interested in Finney Smith and Brunson. Both of them are probably going to be on the move by the trade deadline. What's up with it, Marco Hinton? I see you in the building. Yes, James Harden is staying. He's not going anywhere. No intention of moving James Harden. He's staying put. He's not going anywhere. He's not coming to the Sixers. He's not coming to the Sixers. They're not trying to get older. They're trying to get younger. We're trying to get younger. Why do you think they're trying to get rid of Tobias Harris? And well, they were looking for Tobias Harris. I personally want them to go ahead and get rid of Danny Green. That's just my personal opinion. But they're trying to get younger and more energetic, like I said. And of course, they're trying to get something in return, top caliber for Ben Simmons, but that's highly unlikely right now. Absolutely not. He listen, yeah, while he might get his assist and everything like that, but you can't count on him when it really matters. Time and time again, he showed that. If he's not hurt, guess what? He's unable to uphold expectations in the playoff. If he's unable to uphold expectations in the playoffs, then he's crying and bitching and whining about the refs. If he's not crying and bitching and whining about the refs, then he's coming in off season making excuses about his weight and all this other bullshit. And if it's not that, then guess what? Then I need to get to the line more. Every other thing he's making pretty much all the excuses in the world. Who does that sound like, Jacob? Sounds like Luca to me, because he does the same shit. But hey, that's what you like. But listen, uh, James Harden. The fact is that none of these teams are going to be a good fit for James Harden. Check it out. Listen, I could just break it down right to you. Him going to a top caliber team like Phoenix, he's gonna ruin that chemistry that they got right now and what they have brewing. They're the best team in the league. Him going the Phoenixes, the Golden State, damn sure would not be a good fit in Memphis because Memphis is on the come up. They're on the rise. They have a young core right now. Him going to Cleveland would not be a good fit because they're a run. I mean, they like to get up and down the floor. And these guys have no egos on that team. Now, listen, Jacob, Big Who, Jelly Bean, Marco, everybody that's in here, Big Who. Listen, I will say this: slumping right now in New York, I could kind of see that a little bit, but to say that James Harden is going to go there and immediately turn it around, I don't know because I don't think that James Harden wants to put the team on his shoulders anymore. He's already proved that he's had an opportunity to do that. You said at least he passes the ball. Yeah, for stats. Anybody can pass the ball for stats. Hey, Jacob, hey, like I said, hey, I'll pass the ball to you 10 times. As long as you hit three, hey, that's 10 assists for me, baby. That nigga's not doing anything that brings any type of impact. The only thing that I could say about James Harden that he has a plus 47. Okay, so he does have some impact. But at the same token, I mean his shooting has been horrible. He's in the low 40s. He's been 41% this year. At one point, he was actually a little under 40%. But he's always been anywhere from about a 44 to about a 45. His highest that he ever 48%. You said trade Kyrie for Russell to OKC 2.0 in Brooklyn. KD, Harden, Russ. Hell no. That's a terrible move. And nobody, shout out to Ticket TV, man. He came out and said that Russ isn't going anywhere. Shout out to Ticket TV, man, and he already put that out there. Now he is tradable, but he's still not going anywhere. And plus, the Lakers don't have a plan B. They really want to get their hands on. Uh, they wanted to get their hands on Jeremy Grant, but they did achieve one of their goals, which was to sign Stanley Johnson. I thought that was excellent, and they also got to see what's going on with Monk. I'm hoping Monk stays there, but they really wanted to get their hands on Jeremy Grant. Everybody's trying to get their hands on Jeremy Grant. Like I said, yeah, I know you're trolling, Theo. Man, come on, man, for real. I listen, James Harden. Look, if James Harden would just stay put and quit worrying about the bullshit and stop worrying about this or that and just play ball, because I know, look, he has no excuses. Look at Chicago. They're riddled with injuries. They're still fighting. You got Levine and you got DeMar DeRozan. doing everything they can to work the best out of a really fucked up situation because they lost. They well, they got Lonzo Ball who's out. They got Caruso that's out, and then Derrick Jones Jr. is going to continue to remain out because he broke his finger. So yeah, James Harden is staying put. He's not going anywhere. He's staying with the Nets. Can the Nets do it? If James Harden can go on a stretch and carry this team, because he I mean, while he got the stats against LA and all that other stuff, I mean, the leadership is still not there. And he one of the things that he was concerned about was Kyrie being hit or miss for home games. Yeah, Patrick Williams is coming back, but I mean, still though, the Bulls, you know, Patrick Williams, yeah, that's great and everything, but Caruso is needed. Regardless of what you want to say, Caruso is needed. So is Lonzo Ball. And so is Derrick Jones Jr. Derrick Jones Jr., even though he's playing 17 minutes still, he's shooting 40%. I think some people forget how great defensively a guy like Derrick Jones Jr. is. I wish he would get more minutes. I wish he would get way more minutes than what he's getting right now. And you know, that's pretty much everything in a nutshell. Now, I will say this though. I'm keeping an eye on what's going to happen because the Cleveland Cavaliers are interested in players too. We have to keep our eyes out on because the Cleveland Cavaliers, me myself personally, I wouldn't want them to make a whole lot of moves or anything like that. I do want them to figure out what they're going to do in terms of the Sexton situation. If Sexton comes back, is he going to break everything up? And I like Colin Sexton and everything, but they're winning without him. They're winning without him. And for I don't want him in Philly. James Harden maybe about I would say uh when he first came into the league, I would love to have him in Philly. Not now. And y'all probably did not want to hear that. Oh well. But y'all everybody seems to love all these players that have all these high ass egos and don't and they got all the talent in the world, but they don't make your team any better. They just don't. And for James Harden, look, he said he has championship aspirations and expectations. Well, hello, you got a championship team right there. Listen, you have guys there that can't get it done. You have enough, man. You have enough. I don't want to hear all this stuff. Oh yeah, well he ain't got nobody on his team. KD is missing. Kyrie's hit or miss. No, that's not an excuse because there are teams that are still flying. I mean, still fighting. Now, Washington, I'm disappointed in Washington. I'm very disappointed in Washington. I'm disappointed in the fact that they at one point in the season they were at the top of the East. Now they have went all the way down to pretty much the bottom. They're in Orlando and New York status now. I'm disappointed in New York, even though I know Derrick Rose is, Derrick Rose is his ankle and everything that situation, but I'm disappointed in those teams. Very disappointed. And the fact remains is that I just don't see James Harden ever winning the championship again. Some people they don't have any faith in the Nets. People got more faith in Miami. You said, ain't they doing good? Or Washington? No, they're not, Jacob. Jacob, listen. At one point, Washington was at number. They were number one at the beginning of the season. I mean, these guys were clicking, Jacob. I mean, Kuzma, Harrell, Bradley Beal, um, you know, uh, who else? Who else was on there? And then coming out, now they're talking about Bradley Beal and Spencer Dinwiddie aren't getting along. It's a mess now. It's a mess. I would have thought like Washington would have at least maintained like fourth or third, but Charlotte is the one that's making the noise. Nobody's even concerned about Washington anymore. And New York, I mean, they just been, people are talking about, Julius Randle needs to go. Go ahead and start building around RJ Barrett, because RJ Barrett has been doing everything he can to play, and them players that are coming off the bench are really hooping right now. But the NBA is a marathon, is not a sprint. But right now they need to start sprinting right after this All-Star break, because it's not looking good for Washington. And they invested a lot into Wes Unseld Jr. You said Randall's numbers must have declined. Yeah, man. Hey, hey, Jacob, man. Listen, I don't know if you've seen him play out here, man. When I saw him play, dog, Julius Randle, man, was something vicious, man. He was something vicious out here. And everybody talks about, oh yeah, all that silly shit they used to say about him. Oh, he ain't got no left hand, stuff like that. Yeah, right. I mean, he ain't got no right hand and all this other stuff. Yeah, right, man. Shit, that motherfucker was doing that shit that he doing New York last year and everything, the MVP candidate shit like that. He had been doing that shit. And then when he went to Kentucky and shit like that, man, Julius Randle, he just fell in some bad situations and stuff like that. But I don't know, man. I don't know if the pressure is getting to him, Jacob. Yeah, he was like at an MVP level. He was balling out of control, up until the playoffs. I'm not used to seeing Julius Randle inconsistent like that though. That's odd. Even when he was with the Lakers, yeah, he had some up and downs and stuff like that, but one thing Jake I mean one thing Randall would do is he would go on a stretch where he would be at least solid for a stretch of games or whatever. But now it's just like, man, he's playing poorly, man. And it's been R.J. Barrett, it's been Evan Fournier, guys like that that's stepping up. Even Obi Toppin. Yeah, exactly, against the Hawks. That was that right there. I was like, I said to myself, I said, you know, he's gonna bounce back. I was thinking to myself, Jacob, he was gonna be in the gym. He was gonna bounce back this year. It just got even worse, man. And I think, me personally, I think Tibbs is starting to get on his nerves. I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. I think Tibbs is starting to get on his nerves. Cause cause Tibbs, as much as I like Tibbs, man, it seemed like when they start playing with a lot of players, man, really can't hack it with him mentally. Oh yeah, what you think? Well, Tibbs was he's defensive minded, to the core. He got better, with the offense a little bit, but you can still tell it's just that just straight defense and no type of uh direct philosophy in terms of defense of offense. Like he wouldn't mesh well. He wouldn't him going up against a Golden State or like a Phoenix, they'll pick his ass apart because they have such a well balanced team. They can play defense and they can play offense. Like last night, Jacob, I hate to bring up, you know, Golden State and Dallas, man, but like last night was a prime example. You got guys on that team, Jacob, like Gary Payton Jr. Dog, Gary Payton Jr. can really score the ball. Like he ain't just like no, oh yeah, he just one of those sorry ass role players or nothing like that. No, he's athletic. He can catch that bitch and bang on your ass. He can step out and shoot. That nigga can run the floor. That nigga, that nigga is exciting to watch. Jordan Poole can step out, hit the three. Jordan Poole can get to the rack. Jordan Poole can play make. They got a bunch of guys on there that can play D, that can play make, they can shoot the ball, and on top of that, they athletic. Yeah, what? Okay, would you like him? Well, I was gonna ask you for Dallas, but Cole Anthony, man, he needs to be in a better situation. I hate that he's in the situation that he's in right now. Orlando, man, they're just a disappointment, man. Had they had Penny, man, maybe they probably would have improved a little bit. I really feel like Wes Unseld Jr. because he got interviewed initially. He got interviewed with Orlando, but they didn't go in that direction. But I really feel like, yeah, Cole Anthony, man, he needs to be in an entirely different situation, man. I hate what's going on with Cole Anthony, man. I hate it, man. And he coming off the injury and all of that. Aaron Gordon's gone. He went to Denver. He doing a little better over there in Denver and stuff, man. It's just ridiculous over there. You would take him and Brunson? What in your backcourt? But but you know what though? But who you? I mean, who you gonna start? They're both true point guards. Cole Anthony. Cole Anthony, I would say, is a better. He's better at mixing it up. He is a better. He's a better scorer. He's got more in his bag. But in terms of being smart, pacing yourself, change of pace, you know what I'm saying? Uh, Being able to understand defense is better. I would have to get at the Brunson, but just raw ability, raw talent, I would take Cole Anthony. You, you said one could come out the bench. Okay, so who would you start, Jacob? Because I kind of already know where you're leaning towards this. Because right now you got to think about it. Y'all got Tim Hardaway Jr. out, man. That's a huge loss. Finney Smith is on the move. Brunson is about to be on the move. Y'all are gonna shake things up. Listen, I really feel like even KP, he's looking like he ready to go. He got ejected last night because he was frustrated. Okay, so you'll start Brunson. I thought you were gonna say Cole Anthony. I'm shocked. I thought you were gonna say Cole Anthony, man, because of his youth. But man, he's got like a Cole Anthony, man. He could mix it up. He could play in the half court, and he could run the floor too, man. You know what I'm saying? He got court vision. Um, he's a decent shooter. But yeah, Brunson. If if I'm Dallas right now, I'm pulling Luca in that office. Like, man, listen, Jacob. What's his name? Michael Finley. Michael Finley, man, dog. He's Chicago bred. He need to pull that motherfucker Luca into the office and talk to that motherfucker, man, and let him know. Okay, look, bro, what the fuck is happening? We not trying to have another season like last season. Like they got to get that shit together, man. Dirk gonna have to really talk to that motherfucker, man, for real. Him, Dirk, cause they in that front office now. Yeah, he's a diva, man. He's not, he hasn't he doesn't show that he wants to elevate. You know what I'm saying? Like a superstar in my mind, Jacob, man, is somebody that wants to elevate. Like, you know, people don't know the work that Dirk put in. Dirk worked out with I think it was a 40-pound vest, like each summer. He had a 40 one of those weighted vests, Jacob, and he would shoot and play with that on. And that was one of his workouts that he would do. And then he would do other stuff to kind of help him in the off season, like with his footwork and stuff like that. He did different stuff, you know. I think people get this idea that Dirk was just a prima donna or some bullshit. Nah, Dirk worked out. Dirk Dirk shows strides in his game, man. Man, and I understand. It's difficult. People talk about how difficult it is to play with LeBron. I got to give the same smoke to Luca. He's not an easy guy to play with. I wouldn't want to play with someone like that, especially if you're not willing to get better. But man, I'd have rambled long enough, man. But yeah, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. I appreciate everybody pulling up, man. The homie Jacob, man. Always a pleasure, brother. Funky Town in the building. Big Who. Marco Hinton, Texas always represents. Jelly Bean, Theo 3. I appreciate all y'all pulling up, man. Polo Sports Talking Entertainment.